And you're welcome along this Monday morning. Not so bright-eyed, not so bushy-tailed, but we're here nonetheless, and we're excited to welcome all our new Welsh followers to the show this morning. I was going to say Hang Dai, but that's the name of a Chinese restaurant on Camden Street. What do you say? What's the Welsh greeting, Eoin?
I don't know. It's a very good Chinese restaurant, actually. And I will be happy to talk about Chinese cuisine all morning, if that is one way of getting away from giving any credit to Wales this morning, because that's what we might have to do. That's what the grim outlook of this morning looks like.
It's Bor Da, which is exactly the quotient of people who are getting in touch with us. Bor Da. Yeah, well, look, I mean, nothing we said was that incorrect, was it? Really?
The
bit where we win, the bit where Ireland win the game, we got that bit wrong, but everything else we got right, right?
No, no. We got very little right. I think it's fair to say, as you said there, it is a very warm welcome to all our new Welsh followers. That was kind of the experience of yesterday evening, was just notification, see who your new follower is, and invariably it was somebody with a dragon emoji in their name. And I sure hope that they're ready for a lot of GAA content over the next couple of weeks. And I warmly welcome them into our circle. We were like, I guess, Tyrion in Game of Thrones approaching the dragon. We laid our hand on the snout of the dragon, and all of a sudden the dragon awoke and breathed fire in our direction. That is the role that we played. And it is what it is. It's a very tough morning. We're going to have a very tough week, and this is what happens when we chat nonsense about an opposition team. Like, I will say this: we were on the precipice. Ireland was on the precipice of one of the funniest wins in Six Nations memory. Like, it would have been just unbridled comedy had they actually won that game. There was an error-ridden encounter, two poor enough teams, and the winner was always going to be the team that made the least amount of mistakes. And it would have been hilarious had Ireland actually beaten them with 14 men. And that is the problem this morning. We just got a little taste, just a little sample of what that hilarity might have tasted like, and it all blew up in our face. That happens. Congratulations to Wales. We'll see you next year. That's the only thing we can say, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's very disappointing that we didn't manage to steal the victory at the end, because it came off the back of some of the most brain-dead rugby that you're ever going to see. The game's over. The game is, like, everybody's kind of, they're in the process of unhooking all of the electronic equipment to go down to the changing room, when all of a sudden Wales kicked the ball back to Ireland but the game's over. Why don't you just, kick it out of touch? Brain dead rugby. And then eventually Ireland, not playing much better, managed to just about win a penalty. And maybe that was Wayne Barnes trying to equal things up and give us an opportunity to kick into the corner and just see what happens. I mean, there's no guarantee that we were going to win our own line out. It could have been any one of a number of other scapegoats that Ireland were looking at instead of just Billy Burns at that point. But that moment of shock when Billy Burns can't, and there's a brilliant angle that the BBC had afterwards, where you can kind of see it's banana kicking. It looks good, and then it doesn't even go out the touchline. It goes out the back. It goes out through the back of the dead ball, and you're like, what? That didn't even go out at any point? Wow, that's quite the miss there, Billy. Come on. But look, obviously it's not just his fault. It's also Peter Mahoney's fault and ours. Some people seem to be crediting us with some responsibility for this. I'm happy to accept our tiny portion of the blame.
Yeah, you should take it all.
We've got big shoulders. We can do it.
You're the man who deserves it all. Certainly, I'm with the Welsh counterparts. To be honest, blame Jared Gilroy this morning is certainly what I would be doing. The Burns kick was mad. Really, you didn't even need that other angle to see that he completely shanked it. Really, that's the only explanation for it. That it must have just come off the wrong part of the boot, because it was so off target. Like, it didn't come close to being within the realms of finding his touch at all. And I know, in fairness, you got to go for it. Like, there was Sexton was talking afterwards and saying that it was a ballsy call to actually go for it. I know Simon Zebo was tweeting that as well in the aftermath, and that's what happens sometimes. And also, when you find yourself in that situation when you are narrowly getting beaten, there is naturally going to be one person at the end who's going to take all the blame. It just doesn't help for Billy Burns that a few minutes before that he kicks the ball out into full, which was clearly a big error as well. And like it's a very, very tough situation for him, and it's going to be punished with him now being moved down at least one place in the Ireland out half pecking order.
Yeah, I mean the stuff coming through from our Welsh friends is actually very funny, so we should spend a little bit of time with it.